Disney just did something that I have never seen them do before. Hello everybody, welcome. As the construction, or some might say the destruction, of the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island continues, I was shocked at what I saw, and it tells us a lot about what we can expect to see in the future. Almost a year ago, Disney held their D23 Expo in Anaheim, California, and absolutely floored us with some of their announcements that nobody saw coming. One of the biggest announcements was the Cars area that is coming to Magic Kingdom that is simply removing Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. What was sure to be a big hit for Disney at this event ended up being a complete disaster. Instead of being held up as this triumphant moment for them at the expo, fan backlash absolutely, almost universally erupted at this destruction that's happening at Rivers of America. Their seemingly wanton disregard for any of the amazing things that Walt Disney created at Magic Kingdom, just completely disregarded, thrown out the window. And people were quick to jump to social media and absolutely lay waste to Disney. Although we may not look at Rivers of America, the riverboat, and Tom Sawyer Island and think, hey, man, that's an attraction I want to go to. Like, I can't wait to go to Magic Kingdom. First thing, I'm rope dropping the riverboat. Can't wait, I'm rope dropping Tom Sawyer Island. That is my bag. That's not happening. That is not what it's about. But people do universally agree that, like, the beauty that area brings to Magic Kingdom, the peacefulness, the tranquility among all that hustle and bustle and the vision that Walt Disney had for Frontierland and Americana, people just loved it. They really feel like that being removed is going to take away from that experience, absolutely. Now, Disney was, like I said, stunned by this backlash. I don't think they were expecting it because they're somewhat disconnected at times with their fan base. Or they just don't care about what the fan base thinks. And to be fair, sometimes they shouldn't care because the fan base is not always right. Progress is needed. Sometimes we gotta shutter things that people have nostalgia for in order to catapult us into the future. But this particular one, they weren't expecting it. Massive backlash. And so immediately we were getting reports that Disney was like, oh, we need to take a step back. We need to pause. We need to rethink what we're doing here. Yes, we still want to continue with the Cars area, but we need to take a step back and reevaluate and think, do we need to make some adjustments or some tweaks? Or do we need to rethink what we're doing there in order to keep some of that beauty, some of that water, some of that sort of tranquility and calmness that it brings? Do we need to rethink the sight lines and the sound lines to make sure that it's not negatively impacting Haunted Mansion and sort of Thunder Mountain and all the Frontierland areas and Liberty Square? I think they took a step back and reevaluated. And this is like 9 months ago. I think I reported on this like 9 months ago or so. I even did like graphs. I even talked about some of the changes that they might be thinking about, how they can maybe keep some of the water. I did visual depictions. They kind of showcased where I think they were going to maybe make some changes and not completely obliterate the waterscape. And sure enough, once they came out with the new art, that new fun map style of concept art they gave us, we could much more clearly see where a lot of the water and playfulness and tranquility and calmness and all the trees and the beauty will be worked into the Cars area. So I think that really gave fans a better sense of what was going to be going in there, and people were able to relax a little bit and feel a little bit more positive and optimistic about this change versus just feeling like it's completely being destroyed. One of the big things in the new concept art that they show is the water. They really amped up where the water is going to be, making sure that people see there will be some sort of river, waterfalls, there will be water built into this new area. So you can kind of see the big difference between the original concept art and then the new fun map style, kind of the differences in the water, sort of how much that's been amped up, and the trees and the playfulness, and it feels much more like a wilderness. It feels like it belongs a bit more in that space than the original version did, with the colors and the types of trees. It just feels more naturally fit into Frontierland. So I think the new art was a big improvement. Now we know that Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island closed on July 7th, 2025, and construction is starting. It's happening. I mean, things are being moved, there are scaffolding, there's walls up, the river's been drained. I mean, there's things happening. Now, just a reminder, what we'll be getting at Cars Land is we're gonna get 2 attractions. One is a rally race type attraction for Piston Peak, very similar to Radiator Springs over in Disney's California Adventure, the sort of side-by-side racers, but instead of it being race cars, it's gonna be more off-road vehicles. Now, this will not be on a physical dirt track, although it will feel like you are and look like you're kind of going over a dirt track with lots of hills. The new vehicles have shocks and struts, which will allow a lot of like rocking back and forth type movements. So it'll be similar to Radiator Springs, but it will feel quite different. It will have new characters. Park Ranger Jay Audubon Woodlore is one of the key marquee characters in this new space, and it really looks like it's going to be kind of a fun attraction. I don't think it's going to be significantly different from Radiator Springs, but I think it'll be a fun attraction, very similar to Test Track. If you've ever ridden that experience, you'll know what it's going to be like. Then there will be a second attraction, which we still don't have any details on. We thought maybe we'd get a little update on that at Destination D23, but like I said, I kind of doubted it because I don't think Disney wants to talk about Cars Area because there's so much negativity about it. So as I said, construction has started. I was out at the site recently, went out there, wanted to take a look, see what was happening, see if I could catch a glimpse on some of the changes that are happening. And man, oh man, I was blown away. And not in a good way. I was absolutely shocked, floored by what I saw. I have never, in all of my years of Disney, ever seen an open, unobstructed view of construction the way that it is existing right now with Rivers of America. Never before seen anything like it. It felt so weird, so out of place, almost so unthoughtful. Is that even a word? Unthoughtful, don't care, like if almost like Disney had given up. Like they're like, don't know what to do here, don't want to block that, not sure, I don't know, we give up. Just throw it out there. Just do construction. Who cares if everybody and their brother sees it? I was shocked. I got so much footage. I couldn't stop filming this because I didn't know what to say. I'm like, what? I feel like I was in the Twilight Zone. I was like, what is happening here? People pay thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars to go to Disney World and come to Magic Kingdom and have an immersive experience. And here I am walking by a job site that looks like, you know, they're building a new White Castle or In-N-Out. Like, what's happening right now? The Disney of old would go through painstaking, detailed, expensive planning to ensure that the construction and what was being built and what was being torn down and replaced and drained is hidden from guests. The company that has built an entire reputation and brand around immersive experiences and spent millions of dollars creating the right sightlines and the right visuals to not break the magical experience and the immersion. The company that built Space Mountain and innovated to create a completely new way of thinking of an indoor roller coaster and not wanting it to look like a big box and wanting it to look cool, so they ended up putting all the steel framework on the outside of the building, which is why Space Mountain has those ridges on the outside. It has that conical shape in it, and you see it from afar and you think, man, that looks cool. You don't think like, man, why is there a big soundstage or manufacturing building in my sightline? I'm seeing this cool Space Mountain that just looks cool. Like I want to go over and touch that. I want to go see that. The company that did that has now suddenly thrown all that out the window. The entire way, all the way from Frontierland over by Tiana's Bayou Adventure, all the way up to the Liberty Square by Haunted Mansion is completely open. And you're just looking at this dirty, muddy, trash-filled pit with scaffolding up. I mean, it was kind of a little bit fun because it was like a scavenger hunt. Like I was walking along trying to see like, I wonder if you can see things that people have dropped over the years. And at one point I saw like a cell phone At one point, I think I saw like a wallet and a cell phone. I'm like, those people had a really bad day. Like, they lost everything for some reason. I don't know how it ended up there, but like their phone, everything, they lost. So there's probably a lot of hidden gems in there. But I'm like, what is happening? I shouldn't be seeing this. This is so weird to me. So I don't know, maybe I'm being overly dramatic. I just have never seen it before. In all of my years, I've never seen anything like that. They have taken such care and been painstakingly crazy about making sure that that isn't happening, and here all of a sudden it was. It was just mind-boggling to me. Now, there is one thing that gave me a little bit of hope, which was a positive out of this experience, is that because of the way it's being done and where the walls are, and based on the concept art, which is what I was saying, it looks like they may end up keeping that sort of wooden bridge and walkway that goes all along that water. Because in the concept art, you could see like little pieces of that bridge, and then the water looked like it was right on the other side of it. So it feels to me like they may be keeping part of the river, but instead of it being so wide between there and Tom Sawyer Island, it may be much narrower, like a brook or a stream that might go through there. They may actually be keeping the wooden walkway, which I would be really in favor of, because I just like that secondary side path that you can walk without having to be on that main stretch along Frontierland. I like having that. So it could be possible that, like the concept art, they could be keeping that, which is one silver lining that I was finding in this if it ends up holding true. So I don't know what your thoughts are. I'm curious to hear from you in the comments. I'd really like to hear from you on this subject, because I'm a big Disney fan, love the Disney magic, the immersion, everything, and I just was shocked. I was blown away. Now, maybe they're gonna put walls up at some point. Maybe at some point they're gonna put walls there and block it off. But I mean, this has been going on for a month or so now. Like, it's been a while. It's been closed for a bit, and they've been doing all this stuff. Scaffolding is up. It looks really bad, and they haven't done it yet. So I'm not sure what they're waiting for. I do expect at some point they're gonna have to block it off, but yeah, it's a little weird to me. I'm flummoxed. I'm a little confused. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you confused? Do you think that signals that Disney doesn't care? That they actually don't care? They're not willing to spend more money and go through painstaking planning like they used to in order to like keep that sort of from breaking guests' immersion? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little bit too hard. I'm willing to accept that I could be going a little too hard here. I was blown away. I was shocked. So anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this content. Be sure to hit the notifications. Again, subscribe. Man, people watch my videos all the time. They don't subscribe. It's free. All you gotta do is hit the button. Just boop, hit the button. You're subscribed. You're good to go. So do that. I'm telling you, please hit the subscribe button. Thanks again so much for watching. Until I see you next time, the Noble way is the easy way. Bye-bye, everybody.